I object vociferously, and you should too. I'm doing the right thing. Okay, this is fighting the good fight. This is earning my reward. Okay, the prize to be found worthy and deserving of inheriting a better world. I want good things for myself and my children and you and everybody on the face of the earth. Nothing bad. And even the wicked people, I don't want bad things for them either. But they need to be parented. They need help. They need ethics rehabilitation centers. So understand this. When I'm yelling and screaming and all passionate, I'm like I'm yelling at the prodigal son, okay? That, if I could get to him sooner, maybe he wouldn't have to go through all that, waste his inheritance and come back feeling empty, okay? Vapid, okay? Unworthy anymore, okay? It's the whole idea. If the shoe doesn't fit for you, don't wear it. But I don't know who I'm talking to. So if I'm talking to some multi-billionaire or some wicked people, I say, hey, it's harder for a rich man to go to heaven than for a camel to fit through the eye of a needle. Okay? Not that it's impossible. God can do anything. Okay? All I'm saying is it's hard. And we're called on to use worldly wealth to win friends for ourselves in this life so that we gain these eternal homes. Okay? Later. And remember, your kids, you people that are against a universal basic income, look, I say whatever it takes to thwart these criminals, banksters that deliberately cause these problems, that rash of foreclosures, this debt that keeps growing, this imbalance between the haves and have-nots. Okay, listen, whatever it takes, a universal basic income like Martin Luther King Jr. called for so many years ago, I say yes, whatever it takes. Yeah, and based on the cost of living, at least allow people to all have housing and food and water and a certain degree of energy needs met. Okay, that's it, at least. Why? Why make people live unnecessarily in fear, financial fear, if they don't need to? Remember, a real, palpable type of fear. Very real. People kill themselves all the time for money because of the fear. Okay? They do all sorts of things. You know that. Okay? Look into crime and what motivates most criminals. That's just a fact. Okay? So understand the paradigm here, what's going on, and all the interests that have to keep us on this trajectory. It's just death and destruction. It's more and more misery is going to be imposed on the general public. And remember, if it's somebody else's misery, it's yours. We're hopelessly, inextricably interconnected. There's not a damn thing you can do about that. And God gave you a conscience. It's a fail-safe position you take to value your conscience and those boundaries you have. All those things you wouldn't do for any amount of money. Thank God for those things and cherish them in your heart. Okay, and let yourself expand and grow on those things and get more and more sensitive to the needs of others and what must be done here to turn this around. But I guarantee if you took away that $50 billion a year, see, the problem is not we need more funding. The problem is that we need less funding, apparently, because we don't have a semblance of true capitalism. So until we have that, I mean, that's socialism. That's perverse socialism, where all that money that we call a socialistic program, like Section 8 housing, goes into the pockets of fat cats, and it makes the problem worse of desperate poverty, homelessness, and unaffordable housing. Do you get it? So if you took that away, yeah, that'd be great. You understand how I can rub some people the wrong way whose interests are in high housing costs? And those are Democrats and Republicans often. Those are conservatives and liberals often. Those are people that profess to be socialists and capitalists often. Okay? You understand? It's silent collusion is what's going on. It's like a beast. It really is. It is a freaking juggernaut of freaking beastly evil. That's what America has become. And there's this silent collusion, okay? And it's between the heads, the uppermost, top, the masterminds, the highest echelons of our government, that's the Senate and Congress and the executive branch, have been colluding with the money printing class. And then they have to have the Labor Department in their pockets. Imperative they have the Labor Department. Because the Labor Department could have acted as check and balance. It would have prevented this from going this direction, this wealth imbalance I'm talking about. And ever-increasing poverty in the social welfare industry. Unsound money. Where does it go? Where does it end? Cost of living inflation. So the Labor Department could have stopped that in its track if every year they said, wow, the cost of living jumped up. We don't know why, but you could do your own research. Was it market manipulation? Or did we have a drought? Did we have a famine, a shortage of something, a disruption in the supply chain? Is there a valid excuse? Explain. No, we're not getting any of that education, are we? I'm trying to help you to think. What I'm saying. Like minimum wage could be 50 cents an hour now and have more buying power than minimum wage had when it was $1 an hour. That's a fact. That's supply and demand, free market capitalism. That's what it would produce. So you got to understand the implications. What I'm saying here is heavy duty stuff, man. I mean, it really is going to take God's help and God empowering people to go forth and to do his work. But, yeah, only wear the shoe if it fits. If I'm getting all excited and everything, you got to understand, what's at the heart of that is that I give a damn, and I'm a selfish man. I want to be happy. And you can't go it alone. No man is an island unto himself, no matter how nice in theory it sounds. And some guys will try to delude themselves, self-deceive, and think that they can do that. You can't. All right, recent current events. I know coronavirus is big in the news. I don't know what to tell you about this. It's they're saying it's going to be a pandemic. I'm not worried about it. I can't worry about it. It's just like anything else, the flu or any other disease. You got to protect yourself. Wash your hands a lot. I'm a big hand washer. I love that Baraxo powder hand soap, and I use that in conjunction with other soap and hand soap, dishwashing soap, whatever. And I love clean hands. I wash my hands probably at least a dozen, probably 24 times a day. But, yeah, I'm a big hand. You go to the grocery store, you touch the cart. I mean, think about that. Then you touch the steering wheel in your car. Once in a while, take some alcohol. Kill the microbes on your steering wheel. That could be, breeding their germs. Last week, I got to make a correction. I said that Judaistic Jews believe in the return of Jesus, but I meant Messianic Jews. There's two different kinds of Jews. There's Judaistic Jews. That's a traditional Jew who believes Muhammad's the man and the only man. And the Messianic Jews are the ones that believe that Christ is the real Messiah. Jesus is the Christ. So that's what I meant to say. And also I was talking about my Palestinian friend, and I've missed my point. But, I love this guy. But, on one hand, he'll tell me, how great America is. And every time I constructively try to criticize America and show my dissent for it, he's quick to shut me up and say, defend America and all this. I mean, it's like, good God, does this guy know? Who he's talking to? I mean, I'm a learned man. I know. I've had history, empirical evidence, from childhood about the direction America's been going, and it isn't good. Okay, so, why would he try to argue with me that? And then in the next breath, he makes me utterly ashamed because he'll tell me that there's no homelessness in Palestine. You understand? I mean, you wonder why I'm a little cuckoo? I mean, we got to start being sensitive to each other and think things through. He should understand, I've got a legitimate grievance. Criticizing the direction America's been going for a long time is justified 100% and then some. Okay? Any thinking person would agree. And he did. He had to concede that, he kind of understood. But you know what? He's probably afraid he's going to be labeled a terrorist because he's from Palestine. So I don't know. There's this concept of attrition. Essentially, it's the wearing down of something, dwindling of something. And, consider the long, slow, gradual reduction of population, genocidal plan. I mean, this, explain why they don't mind homelessness. Because it does kill people. It breaks down your immune system. You can't live out in the cold. No creature will do. They all seek some kind of shelter. Every single creature on Earth. Or it has its own built-in one, like a turtle or something. There's a few niches in society that are still getting ahead, but eventually it's going to catch up to them. And that's the law of attrition. So if you're still making enough money to pay your bills as a plumber or electrician or something, remember, there's going to be enough of them, okay, that eventually it's going to break down the rules and regulations, the hoops you have to jump through to get your license and contract. All of you guys, eventually through attrition, you're going to feel the pinch, and you too are not going to be able to afford to be a homeowner in California. So you should give a damn. Got Roger Stone in the news. He seems like being an all right guy to me, but, he's got to pay the price for lying to Congress, I guess. We got that little bullied boy from Australia. Very sad thing. It's terrible that people would do that to a little boy like that. Everyone's an innovator, a designer, an inventor, and I think that everybody should use their God-given, instinct to think, to imagine, and appreciate that. I love it. It's one of my favorite pastimes is just improving things, designing things better, innovating, and imagining solutions for everything that bugs me. Yeah, there's a lot of problems in life that, some people are willing to pay for, and other people, you couldn't pay them enough to do those things, and that's having boundaries. You want to have boundaries, my friends. Al Pacino was in the news on NBC Sunday morning, or CBS Sunday morning. Or no, it was NBC actually. And he seems like a really nice guy. I like Al Pacino. When it comes with struggling with your personal demons, we all have to do that, but we have to let God do the butt kicking at the end of the day. Briefly on supplements, I take several supplements, but I buy more that end up getting dated before I ever use them. Certain ones I do use, like a vitamin C complex, a B